The evolution of Godzilla, from monster to myth. Ever wondered how a giant radioactive lizard became one of the most iconic figures in cinema? From stomping through Tokyo to battling other colossal creatures, Godzilla has done it all. Let's dive into the epic journey of the king of the monsters. You know that spine-chilling roar and those towering spikes? Godzilla isn't just a monster. He's a legend that has evolved over decades. But to really get Godzilla, we start from the beginning, right after World War II in Japan. The birth of a legend. It's the 1950s, and Japan is recovering from the devastation of World War II. The memories of Hiroshima and Nagasaki are fresh, and there's a palpable sense of fear about nuclear technology. Enter Tomoyuki Tanaka, a film producer with a wild idea. After a real-life incident where a Japanese fishing boat got caught in nuclear testing fallout, the Daigo Fukuryumaru incident, Tanaka wanted to create a monster that embodied these fears. That's how Godzilla, or Gojira in Japanese, was born in 1954. This wasn't just any monster movie. It was a deep, gritty film reflecting the anxieties of the time. The special effects, done by Eiji Tsuburaya, were groundbreaking. Sure, by today's standards, it was a guy in a suit stomping on miniature sets, but back then, mind-blowing. The original Gojira wasn't just about a monster wrecking a city. It delved into themes like nuclear destruction and the consequences of humanity's actions. It was heavy stuff that resonated with audiences. The Showa-era transformation. Let's fast forward to the Showa era, 1954 to 1975. During this time, Godzilla went through some personality changes. Initially a symbol of destruction, Godzilla started to become more of a hero, or at least an anti-hero. Why the shift? Well, global events and cultural shifts played a big role. The world was changing, and so were movies. People wanted hope and heroes. Introducing other monsters like Mothra, Rodan, and the three-headed King Ghidorah added fresh dynamics. Suddenly, Godzilla was defending Earth against even bigger threats. Films like King Kong vs. Godzilla, 1962, brought in crossover excitement. It was like the original cinematic universe. Also, to appeal to younger audiences, some movies adopted a more light-hearted, even goofy tone. Remember Son of Godzilla? It was all in good fun. The Heisei era revival. Jumping ahead to the Heisei era, 1984 to 1995, Godzilla went back to his roots. The films took on a darker, more serious tone, much like the original. They amped up the special effects and storytelling. Movies like The Return of Godzilla, 1984, ignored the lighter Showa films, acting as a direct sequel to the 1954 original. We also saw deeper explorations into Godzilla's origins and powers. Plus, the introduction of Godzilla Jr. added a new layer to the story. One standout was Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1989, where Godzilla battled a creature born from his own cells combined with a plant. Talk about facing your demons. These films tackled themes like biotechnology and environmental issues, making Godzilla relevant for a new generation. The Millennium Series exploration. Enter the Millennium Series, 1999 to 2004. This era was all about reimagining and experimenting. Each movie, starting with Godzilla 2000 Millennium, was mostly a standalone story with its own take on the Godzilla legend. They addressed modern concerns, environmental disasters, the dangers of technology, and more. Films like Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack, 2001, presented Godzilla as a malevolent force again. Visually, these movies were impressive. They combined classic suitmation techniques with CGI, providing updated creature designs and epic battles. The series concluded with Godzilla Final Wars 2004, which was like a greatest hits compilation. Godzilla faced off against almost every monster from his past. Godzilla's Western adaptations. Now, let's talk about Godzilla's journey across the pond. First up, the 1998 American Godzilla. Directed by Roland Emmerich, it was different. They tweaked Godzilla's design, making him more iguana-like, and the story departed from the original themes. Fans were less than thrilled, but it introduced Godzilla to a new audience, even if it didn't quite hit the mark. Then came Legendary's Monsterverse. Starting with Godzilla 2014, they aimed to respect the source material while giving it a modern twist. This Godzilla was massive, powerful, and had that classic atomic breath we all love. Sequels like Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 brought in familiar faces like Mothra, Road, and King Ghidorah, making fans geek out worldwide. And who can forget Godzilla vs. Kong, 2021? Two titans clashing in an epic showdown. It was the crossover event we'd all been waiting for. These films helped expand Godzilla's fanbase globally and showed how Western interpretations could pay homage to the original Japanese creations. Cultural impact and legacy. Godzilla isn't just a movie character, he's a cultural icon. From countless films to TV shows, video games, and even songs, his influence is massive. He's been a metaphor for everything from nuclear anxieties to environmental disasters. Through Godzilla, filmmakers have commented on humanity's impact on the world. The fan community is passionate and dedicated. Conventions, collectible figures, fan art, you name it. Godzilla has also inspired other monster movies and the entire kaiju genre. Think about films like Pacific Rim or shows like Stranger Things. The giant monster influence is undeniable. He's been parodied and homaged in countless ways, proving his lasting appeal. Godzilla in the modern era. What's next for our big guy? Toho, the original studio behind Godzilla, isn't slowing down. They've got plans for more films and projects, ensuring Godzilla stays in the limelight. We've seen Godzilla venture into animation with Netflix's Trilogy and Godzilla Singular Point. These series offer fresh takes with unique art styles and storytelling. Godzilla continues to be relevant, often used to comment on current global issues like climate change and environmental conservation. He reminds us of the consequences of our actions and the power of nature. Looking back over nearly 7 decades, it's wild to see how Godzilla has evolved. From a symbol of nuclear destruction to a defender of Earth, his journey mirrors our own societal changes. Godzilla's enduring appeal lies in his ability to adapt while remaining a towering figure in cinema. Big shout out to all the creators, actors, and of course, the fans who've kept the spirit of Godzilla alive. Thanks for joining me on this epic stroll through Godzilla's history. So what's your favorite Godzilla era or film? Drop it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, keep celebrating the legends that shape our world. Stay awesome.